This is being done uncut, unscripted, on the fly. Well, it's been a while, but this is an all-new cartoon flashback in HD or perhaps 4K. That's right, an all-new cartoon flashback, and a little bit of a refresher in case you guys don't know what cartoon flashback is. It is a show that, depending on the topic, it's just a quick recommendation and look back at a show that I grew up with over the past 40 years. And at the same time, like I said, it's sort of a recommendation for you to check that show out if you feel like it. So, with that said, what is the show we're going to look at today? And if it's something I've already talked about, consider this a bit of an updated version, but I don't think I've talked about this one yet. And the one I want to talk about, believe it or not, is My Little Pony Tales. Yes, My Little Pony Tales was a show that simultaneously debuted on syndication and on the Disney Channel back in the early to mid-90s. Now, this is considered by many fans as Generation 2, not Generation 1.5, Generation 2, seeing as though this is actually the first MLP show to really distinguish characters by how they look and how they act. I mean, you even had not just female ponies, you had male ponies. And what was unique about this is the fact that these characters attended school. So it was kind of a school-like program, school-like show. And it did kind of tease or kind of make a nod at the fact that certain pony characters, female ones, liked certain male ponies. Now, the intro basically gave us an idea of who was who. I mean, everybody's a fan of G4 Friendship is Magic Bonbon, right? Well, Bonbon G2 was in this show. I think this is the first time Bonbon's name was ever used, as far as I know. Now, My Little Pony Tales, like I said, was a unique specimen in the MLP line, seeing as though it was more of a show that showcased the pony characters as, well, kind of as teenagers in a school setting, that basically also showed that these characters that went to school also had after-school jobs, thus kind of making the school environment they lived in, or attended, I should say, a high school, but with a bit of a grade school, elementary, middle school mix, seeing as though during the intro you see him sliding down a slide outside, after school gets out. Anyway, point being, the show was a very unique specimen. And the way it was formatted was kind of the way we're going to probably be seeing Pony Life. In that it was formatted in 11-minute shorts. 11-minute mini arcs or mini episodes. Basically, each of these episodes would focus, of course, on a different character and a different scenario. Now, I could probably understand that MLP Tales wasn't, exactly everybody's cup of tea. I get that. I'm totally fine with that. But here's what's funny. When I lived in Oskaloosa, Kansas that is, and my dad had cable. He had let me know that when I was coming back due to personal reasons, he had gotten cable installed in the house. And one of the channels he got was Disney Channel. So, of course, being a Disney raised kid, I automatically went and watched Disney Channel as much as I could. And one of the programs Disney Channel had was My Little Pony Tales. Now, later on, when Toon Disney debuted in 1998, My Little Pony Tales also ended up on there. But like I said, I can understand it's not for everybody because of the way the characters were represented. But I thought it was all right. I mean, it was actually, as I was trying to say, one of the shows that I would watch. And I wouldn't have a problem with it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I mean, I knew what franchise it was based off of. And I think what appealed to me was the same thing that appealed to me when it came to Saved by the Bell. and that is it was a school setting. So as someone that was in high school at the time, or just entering high school and such, I could identify with it in some ways. The other thing that also attracted me a little bit was the fact that you had in this show, I should say, the other thing I think that really got my attention and attracted me to the show was the fact that we had boy ponies, we had male ponies. So a lot of the boys or young teenagers, adolescents that would still watch shows like MLP Tales, they could relate with that. They could be like, okay, finally we have representation. And there you go. And the boy characters actually even had some of the 11-minute mini episodes centered on them as well as centered around their relationship with one of the female characters in the show, as well, is what I was trying to say. But overall, MLP Tales to me, I thought was a good show. I mean, like I said, I know and understand it's not everybody's cup of tea. Nobody's going to want to jump the bandwagon when it comes to something like that. But here's what made MLP Tales unique doing its run on Disney Channel, Toon Disney, and syndication. Here's what made it really unique. The fact that My Little Pony Tales would begin with its intro, but every once in a while it would focus on G1. Yeah, it would actually present us with some G1 episodes. And that was surprising. I remember tuning in one day, just to probably see some G1 episodes. And not G1 episodes, but to see some My Little Pony Tale episodes, G2 if you will. And the next thing I was seeing, instead of that, was G1. And that really surprised me. So I think that's what also appealed to a lot of fans of a lot of people that became fans and viewers of My Little Pony Tales. It wasn't just the fact that they were focusing on G2 and the format of the 11-minute mini arcs, or mini episodes, if you will, and the school setting and the boy-girl dynamic kind of stuff, but it was also the fact that they had a mixture of that along with Generation 1, which they would show immediately afterwards. It was kind of identical to how USA Network, when it had the license to distribute and air Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons, how they would air Adventures and then they would air Sonic SatAM. It was kind of like that. It was kind of in like that vein, if you will. But anyway, though, in closing, when I look back at My Little Pony Tales, I look at a unique specimen in the line of the My Little Pony franchise. And I see a show that helped really inspire what Generation 4 Friendship is Magic would become. Along with Generation 1, I see basically the first two generations being that inspiration of what Friendship is Magic would become, with My Little Pony Tales leading the way when it comes to establishing and distinguishing what characters are what characters are who, and how they act and look. So, with that said, though, guys, thank you all for listening and watching this newest edition, the first in a while, of the Cartoon Flashback series. There will be more to come, as I promised one time in an update. So let me know what you're all looking forward to. Comment if you like. Let me know what your history is with this show. And I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. I'm out.